Hello everyone, this is Venugopal. Today in this session we'll discuss constructors and destructors in Python. As we learn the constructors in object-oriented programming in C++ and Java, the constructors used to have the same name what the function and class name has. The constructor name and the class name has the same name, but here in Python it's not like that. If I want to declare a constructor, we need to use the syntax like define. We need to constructor by using def keyword, underscore underscore init underscore underscore, and then parenthesis. Okay, this is what the syntax of declaring constructor in Python. Now, what is the basic use of this constructor? Basically, constructors are used to initialize the object of the class. Object of the class means was instance of the class. That means what? Whenever an object is created, the constructor called automatically. So basically why we use this constructor? To constructor is used to execute the logics written inside the constructor automatically. So whenever we are creating the object of the class, then automatically the constructor is used to get execute, and initialize means whatever the logic is written inside the constructor, it is going to execute. To understand this, we'll see the program. We'll define one class, suppose demo class, or so demo is a class name. Now here I'll define one function. For example, simply show function. Now we know that is an instance method. So automatically self, the first parameter is automatically passed to the show function. And here we are printing, suppose, a simple message like hello. And we also define one constructor. How to define the constructor? By using the def keyword, underscore underscore init. And now here also the self automatically, this keyword is inserted as a first parameter to this constructor. Now this self keyword indicates here that this constructor, it belongs to my demo class. Okay, now here I'll just print a message, print. Now this constructor has no argument. So we can say that this is zero argument constructor. Self is not an argument, right? This is a automatically keyword just to show that this method, this constructor belongs to the demo class. Okay, self always represents the current object. So I'm printing here what? Zero argument constructor. Now we'll create the object of the class. So d equals to demo. That's it. Now see, there are two types of logic is defined here. One is show function, another is a constructor. Now this is a constructor. This is a constructor with no argument, or you can say that zero argument. Zero argument constructor. Now this is a method. This is the instance method. And to call the instance method, compulsorily we need to create the object, and using this object we need to call this show method. But if I'll execute this program, you can observe the output here carefully. See, the zero argument constructor is executing, right? I am not calling this construct explicitly, but in our theory discussion, I explained like whenever the object is created, the constructor is getting called automatically. So whatever the logics written inside the constructor is automatically get executed. Okay, so that is the reason why here we are just creating the object where the constructor is getting called automatically. Now, if I want to execute this show function, simply we need to call that function by using a d dot show. Now, if I'll execute the same function, you will get the output hello also. So this proves that you no need to call the constructor explicitly. Whenever you are creating the object of the class, the constructor is get called automatically. Now suppose if I want to pass an argument, this is zero argument constructor. If I want to pass any argument, suppose I'm passing one argument, name. Now this argument is one argument constructor. So I can say this is a one argument constructor. Now, whenever the constructor is taking any of the argument, then it will become a mandatory that while creating that object, you have to pass as a parameter. Okay, so here I'll pass any name like Raj. Now, whenever I'll execute this one, it will execute one argument constructor. Sorry, my bad. Here I need to take the name argument. I'm not printing here, right? That's the reason why it is not giving the output. If I'll execute here, now you can observe carefully one argument constructor, the name is also displaying here, and hello. Okay, that means what? This is a program for one argument constructor. Means constructor can have a arguments also. N number of arguments you can pass over here. Okay, so let us consider, for example, we have one more variable here as a class variable. Suppose I have one more name equals to, suppose my name I'm writing like Venu. Okay, now if I'll execute this one, the same program, right? What would be the output? Obviously, the preference, this name will be given to the local variable. As this variable is a local variable, so always this you are getting the output what? The same. That is what? Raj. If I'll execute, you can find out the output is same. But if I want to print this one, class variable, in my previous videos only we have explained, if I want to execute the class variable inside any method or inside any function, okay, we need to use one keyword called as what? Self dot name. Now this self represent that this is going to be execute the class variable. Now if I'll execute, now you can see the two outputs. One is this one, we are passing through the parameter, and the second one is it is accessing the class variable. Okay, fine. One more program we'll see. Let us consider, okay, I'll delete this one. I'll take one more program, simple program, class, suppose calculations. And suppose I'm taking one function, input is a function. I'm taking as input a comma b. Now what input I'm getting? Just I want to print a and I want to print b. That's all. And after that, I have one more function. Let us take as an add function. Now in the add function, suppose I want to add the values whatever I have taken from the user in the input function. Suppose I'm printing print a plus b. What would you thinking? Will this ab is accessing here outside of this function? As you know that this a and b values, they are not a local. These are local to this function only, input function. So we cannot access this input function, input variable, this local variables of one function in the other function. That is the reason why it is giving an error. Okay, so can we make this local variable to to the like class variables so that anyone in this class can access that variables? Yes, we can do that. How to do that? Simply converting this local variable, that is called as a converting local variables to instance or class variable. Instance or class variables. How to do that? You know that by using a self keyword. Self dot a equals to a. Self always represents the instance class variables. Self dot b equals to b. Right? And similarly, if I want to access now these variables have become a class variables, and we know that if I want to access the class variables anywhere in my program, you have to use what? Self dot a plus self dot b. That's all. See, the error is gone now. Fine. Now to access, how to access this one? By using the creating the object of the class. How to do that? Suppose C equals to calculations. Sorry. Yeah. It is taking two arguments, suppose 10 comma 20. And then we are calling this function d dot, extremely sorry, we have not defined a constructor, right? We are simply using one method. So d dot input in the bracket 10 comma 20, and then we need to call, it's not d, it's c, and then I'll call c dot what, add function. That's it. If I'll execute this, you will get the output like 10, 20 are the printing values that we have printing in the input function. And after that, we have converted this normal local variables into the instance variable so that any function can access, right? So here we are accessing that the a plus b, 10 plus 20 is 30. Now here I have used what, a function. Instead of function, we can also declare a constructor. How to define a constructor? Underscore underscore init underscore underscore self a comma b. That's fine. Okay, and now there is no need of the special input function, right? The moment I'll declare the object of the class, I'll pass 2 comma 3 this time. Okay, then I'm calling c dot add. So what happened? Whenever the object is created, automatically the constructor is getting called. It will assign, it will print the value a and b. Then what I'm doing inside the constructor, I'm converting the local variables to the class variable so that any of the function can access those variables. Now, if I'll execute it, because this conversion is very important, so that once you define your variables in the constructor, now you can access throughout the program that variables. If I'll execute, you're finding this 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. So this is a very simple program to access how the constructor is defined, how the local variables are converted into the class variables so that anyone can access. One more program we can see. I'm suppose defining a class name as a student, and here suppose I have a constructor. So define underscore init self, and suppose if I'll take some parameters here, for example s id, that is student id, s name comma s suppose class like mc mba whatever it may be, and suppose I'm printing, or what I'll do, I'll convert this variable. I don't want to print here, I just wanted to convert these variables to class variables. So how to do that? Self dot sid equals to sid, self dot sname is sname, as self dot, if you remember in Java, right, if I want to convert the local variables into instance variable, we used to use the keyword this dot name equals to name, if you remember, right? So similarly we are using here with the help of self keyword, self dot s class equals to s class. That's it. Now suppose if I'm taking any of the function, for example to display this data, define show is a function where I'm printing print. Suppose you want to print the data in the form of like sid colon, you can also print data like this, then s name colon, just a minute, formatting is important, and then s class colon, and then double quotes. Now if I want to print, we have a dot format a function, and if I want to access self dot sid, self dot s name comma self dot s class. Okay, means this closing parenthesis will be replaced by the values. Okay, now if I'll execute, I'm just giving some demo, multiple programs, so that you can understand the use of this constructor. Now I want to create the object of the student class. So s equal to student. Inside the student, we need to pass three parameters now. Suppose 101 comma any name, suppose Ajay comma last one is also string, so I need to pass like MCA. If you're creating one more object, you can create, right? Once you define a class, you can create a number of objects, n number of objects. Then name is, for example, Vijay comma s class equals to suppose MBA. Right now we'll call, for example, here I'll call like s dot, what is the function? Show. And here I'll call with the s1 dot, because there two are the different objects. Show. Now if I'll execute, you will find out the data. See, these are the two different objects, MCA and MBA. So this is how, I mean, you can take the use of constructor to initialize the logics or declared inside the constructor, and how we are going to access this objects. Okay, one more thing, if I want to use a destructor. Now destructor is obviously, it is used to delete the object that is being created by you. Suppose we have created two objects. So what I'll do, I'll take one. How to define a destructor? The syntax of destructor is def underscore underscore del. This is the syntax for destructor. I'll just write destroyed objects. And suppose if I'll use here like del is a keyword to call that one. If I want to delete s object, okay, you need to just write like the object name reference. Okay, if I'll execute this, once the yeah, obviously it's an internal process whether you're deleting one object or two object. Once you have come up with executing this program, it will clear all the objects. That is the reason why it is executing twice. Or manually also you can write delete s1 also here, but it is deleting entire objects after your work done. So this is what, this is a simply destructors. It's a good practice to destruct the objects that have been created by you, so that the optimal memory will be utilized. If you're not deleting the anywhere, after some time the garbage collector automatically destroy these objects. So I think that's it. Enough in this video. We have seen what is constructor, what is how to define the constructor. We have seen the zero argument constructor. Also, we have seen some one argument constructor. After that, we have seen how to convert the local variables into the instance variables, so that any function can access the data throughout the program. And at last, we have seen the destructor. The destructors are used to destroy the objects. So we will see some more videos in my upcoming videos. Till then, keep watching. Bye bye.